Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. I am just sitting down to put on my makeup and I wanted to show you what I was going to do today because I'm going to do something just a little different than I've probably shown you before. But it's a way I do my base when I want to keep it nice and light, but I also need a little bit of coverage because you can see I've got a little bit of redness around my nose and my chin. And so I want to cover that, but I don't want to have anything that's too heavy on. So I'm going to use my Bare Skin Tint today, and I use the shade C3. I do have a bit of our medium dark liquid tan on. It's been on a few days now, so it's probably a little bit faded compared to what it was when I put it on, but that's what I have on me today. So I'm going to pop a little bit of this out onto my hand because here's my little trick, right? So a little bit of my Bare Skin Tint, and then I'm going in with some of my under eye concealer. So I'm using shade 3 and I'm going to just roll that beside. I'm going to take another little bit, actually need to give myself a new concealer. Rolling it beside my Bare Skin Tint and mix it together on my hand. So what this will do is just give me an extra little bit of coverage into my Bare Skin Tint so that I feel like I don't need to have any more coverage after I put on my first layer. And it just gives me that really gorgeous natural finish to it. So like that, you know, your Bare Skin Tint is your skin but better. So if you do want to put on a little bit, like see the difference even here and here already. If you want a little bit more coverage in it, but you don't want to layer up too much, just mix a little bit of your instant under eye concealer into it and it makes such a difference. So it gives you that sort of real no makeup. You know, like I'm always saying, that is my key. My absolute aim is to have a makeup that doesn't look like you're wearing any, but you know, you've got your even skin and your really nice healthy base. Because like that, my skin is always going to be a little bit uneven and red. So for me, I always need a little bit of coverage. But like, look at the difference already. I just love it. I'm going to pop another little bit. I definitely need to give myself a new concealer at the very ends of that one. Putting a tiny bit more in there and just to do my forehead. So I'm not going around the eyes because I'm going to keep the eyes just with my concealer. Just we have that little bit of extra brightness. Because if I was to put on I could do it over the eyes, but it's just going to become all one-toned, whereas I want to brighten them up. Okay, so next I'm going to go in just with my concealer and I'm going to pop a little bit underneath the eyes. So remember, going down low, and then just a little bit out to the corners and a small bit on the inner corners of the upper lid. And the one thing with the concealer, so when you're tapping your concealer in, I know I say this all the time, but you're going to bring it from here. Most of the product's going to go and get tapped in further down than you would expect. And then you're tapping it nice and gently up towards the under eye. But don't be afraid to leave a slight section just under here because it's actually going to make your eye look bigger and brighter. So sometimes I think if you go all the way up to the under lash line, right underneath it, if you're using a particularly bright concealer, you can end up making the eye look a little bit smaller. So it's nice sometimes just to leave a little bit of shadow just along the lash line, because realistically we're going to go in with cookie dough under there anyway. Okay, so tap that in. Okay, so next I'm going to quickly actually fill in my lips because I always feel like I go see through once I'm at this stage. So this is my Plum liner. As you can see, I'm really not neat at all. Just giving it a little bit of colour. And then I'm going to go over that with my Jenny lipstick. Just a little bit. And then I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of clear gloss. That's our Bare Gloss over it. Okay, so brows are next. I'm going to use my Easy Brow Pencil in the shade Blonde. So on one end you have your spoolie. So I'm just going to take that and just brush through the brows to make sure there's no product in them after doing our base. And then just roll it up a little. Not too much because obviously it's such a thin nib. If you go too far up, you're at risk of snapping it. And then really nice, light, gentle strokes with it to create that hair stroke effect. The key to this is being light-handed, little light, quick strokes, because like that, you want them to look like hair. and to be really, really natural. And plus, because like that, it's a thin nib so that you get that natural effect. So you don't want to go too strong with it. So just flicking up in the front. Anywhere you've sparse hairs, and just to create shape. Like look, it's an instant facelift when you do the brows. It's the one thing like that, if I was to be going out with nothing else on my face, I think I'd have to have my brows done, because it just makes such a difference. The key as well with brows, I always feel like I say to people, try and look as bored as possible, because if you start putting them up, then you're not going to get the actual shape of your brow. Whereas you just look bored and nonchalant into the mirror, they're going to stay in your resting face shape, which then makes it easier for you to do them. Okay, so a little bit in the front, and then I will always finish it with just another little brush through. Okay, and because we're going for that real no makeup today, I'm going to go straight in with my liquid blush in pink, and I'm just going to give myself a couple of little stripes of it here, kind of going from, I suppose, midsection of your eye outwards, so that we're going to lift it. And I'm going to mix in with that a little bit of my Liquid Lights highlight, and then just take my mini buffer and tap it in. So after this, then I'll set just the areas I need to set, but I don't want to dull down any of this area. I want to keep it really nice and glowy and make the skin look as healthy as possible. So tap it in nice and gently. A little bit on the sides and across the nose, just to tie it all together. I just love that so much. It looks so healthy. Okay, so I'm going to just set my base a little. So I'm going to take some of my translucent powder in the shade 2, and then I have my damp sponge. So take it a little bit up onto the sponge, just a small amount. Whatever you have in your sponge, then just blend it out onto your hand, just so you have the least amount of product left, and then push it in to the skin to just set any of those areas you want to set. So for me, it's always the T-zone. For most of you, I would say it'll be the T-zone. Anywhere you're prone to shine a bit during the day. And because the Bare Skin Tint is obviously more of a skincare product, it's a tinted base, you know, it's not going to set fully on your skin. So you want to make sure you just set those areas that would be prone to a bit of shine. Because look at the difference in that already, but yet I've kept this lovely glow on the outside. Okay. Like, I should stress it here as well that it is really, really a teeny tiny amount of powder. It's like ridiculously small, because you don't need much. You just want to knock back that shine slightly, and that's all. Okay, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now for the eyes, again, keeping it super easy and super simple. I'm going to go in with my cookie dough on my fluffy blender, and I'm just going to give myself a wash of colour with cookie dough. So keeping it matte because I have the glow on my skin, and just personally for me, I prefer a matte shadow around my eye. But you know what would be lovely with this as well, if you prefer a sheen, would be your Dusty Pink eye pencil, or your pink from your Glamour Eyes palette, or our Pearl Pink individual shadow. That would be so nice with this type of look, because again, it's just kind of creating a little bit of a sheen around the lid, but not too much colour when you want to keep it super easy and simple. You know what, I know I said I was going to keep it like totally natural, but I'm actually going to go in with my middle shade of the Signature palette on my pencil brush, and I'm just going to give myself a little bit of shadow underneath the eye, just because I'm keeping the skin real nice and clean and fresh, but I just want a little something around the eyes, just because I won't feel like me if I don't. I'm going to put a little bit just here on the outer corner as well, just to give a little bit of something. Very minimal, but just a hint of a tint. Okay. Perfecto. Okay, going in with my mascara next, which is my Total Lash Mascara. And I'm going to use my definer on the bottom, just sort of in the midsection of my lashes. And then I'm going to go with a good coat of volumizer on top, right into the root of the lash, and then wiggle her on out. So that is my mascara on and my makeup all done. So natural, so easy, so quick. And I just feel like I'm wearing nothing on my skin. And remember, with the Bare Skin Tint as well, it's packed with skincare ingredients. So you've got your vitamin B5, vitamin E, aloe, hyaluronic acid, everything you need to hydrate and protect the skin throughout the day. And like that, you'll still have your little bit of coverage, a little bit of glow to the skin. And I think the trick with adding the concealer, if you want to bring the coverage up a little bit more without adding any more product, is a really nice one. And something that's really, really easy to do as well. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will talk to you soon.